Welcome back to From the Shed End. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back. I did say make sure you hit those notifications because you do not know when the next video is going to land. And here we are live. So if you're here as part of the live stream, make sure you get involved in the discussion. Make sure you get involved in the comments, in the live chat. If you're here as live, if you're afterwards, make sure the comments, fill them with some thoughts about the game. 3-1. Chelsea were victorious tonight, finally, after what was a very mishap of a game in terms of the performance overall, which we're going to talk about as well. But I don't know, man. There's a lot to unpick from this game. Let's before we do all that, as always, make sure you subscribe. Make sure you like the video. Linktree link in the description as well, so make sure you hit that Linktree link. Give me your thoughts, as I said before, in the comment section as well. Now, I did say earlier on in this game that we had to be convincing and we had to get the win with City in mind on Saturday. We had to perform really well, and a part of me feels like we did perform really well tonight, but there's a part of me, which we're going to talk about, there's a part of me that thinks we did not perform as well as we should have done tonight. Now, let's talk about the lineup first of all, because the lineup threw me, I'll be honest. I did not expect our midfield options. Obviously, we did talk about in the preview that maybe Fernandes will miss the game. Maybe Cole Palmer might be a doubt. Lavia might be a doubt. Colwell. So we did know that there were going to be potential absentees from today's lineup or tonight's lineup. But I didn't really expect Keenan Dewsbury Hall to be in there. I was made up for Chalobah. To see Chalobah in the lineup for me was spot on. But we went with Sanchez in goal. We're going to get onto him. We are not doing this live stream and not talking about Robert Sanchez. Reece James at right back, Tosin, Trevor Chalobah, and Marco Correa as our defenders. We went with Keenan Dewsbury Hall and Moises Caicedo due to the absence of Enzo Fernandez, Noni Madueke, Cole Palmer, Pedro Neto, Nicholas Jackson as the striker. Now, let's just start with Robert Sanchez, actually. Let's not do this in sequence of order of the events of the game. Let's do this in order of just what happened in terms of what's in my head right now. So Robert Sanchez. Chelsea fans, please talk to me, because I'm on the point now where every predicted lineup I'm going to do, Robert Sanchez will not be in this team. Robert Sanchez is not the quality of keeper we need at Chelsea. Now, we've got Petrovic on loan. We've got Jurgensen on the bench. 2 goalkeepers. Slanina's out there as well. We've got goalkeepers. Now, I'm not saying any of those goalkeepers are miles better than what we've got with Robert Sanchez in goal. But every time we watch Robert Sanchez, there's always a mistake in it. I tweeted it. I actually put out a tweet before the mistake happened. In fact, guys, I'm going to show you the tweet. This was my tweet before it happened. And this is the problem that we're going to have with Sanchez in goal all the time. Because when he's in goal, it's a problem. It's a massive problem. When we've got Sanchez in goal, it is a problem. I knew it was going to happen. Watching the game, bearing in mind, this is before the game happened. This is before the goal happened. Sanchez is close to making a mistake, a costly one. I said it, I predicted it, and lo and behold, I was right. I was absolutely right. This goalkeeper from a corner. Now, we can all blame and say that, yes, he was, he had Wolves defenders or whatever you want to call them, sort of out-marking him and on top of him in the goal. But every team does that now. Every team are going to put 1 or 2 players on their goalkeeper. It's just part of the game. It's what they do as set pieces. So we can't sit here and say that Sanchez was unfortunate, because the second corner that comes in, he actually punches the ball away. He does the right thing by punching the ball. Trying to catch the ball when you've got 2 Wolves players on top of you is mental. It's ridiculous. It's absolutely ridiculous. Why would you do that? He can't play out from the back. For me, Sanchez is probably at that point now where if we don't get top four this season, you could argue that it's one of the reasons is because of him in goal. You could argue that it's one of the reasons. Now, I'm not saying that Jurgensen is any better. I'm not saying that he's going to be the person that we look to go forward, but you can guarantee you Jurgensen looks a lot more comfortable with his distribution, looks a lot more better with his playing out from the back. He's probably on par in terms of shot stopping, but look, Sanchez is always going to give you a mistake in the game. And we were lucky we came up against Wolves today, because if we come up against Man City that played Ipswich yesterday, this could have been 6 or 7. Easy. We can't afford to... Maresca, I love the manager, but there's times when you've got to look at... Don't be stubborn. I think I said this last week. Do not be stubborn. Do not think that you have to die on certain hills as the Chelsea manager, because I'm guaranteeing you right now, those things will cost you the job as Chelsea manager. Sanchez is not good enough to be Chelsea's #1 goalkeeper. The window's still open, ladies and gentlemen. The window's still open. We can still go and get a goalkeeper. We can go and secure a goalkeeper. We're choosing not to do that. But we have to get someone in. And if we don't get a goalkeeper in, then we have to start playing Jurgensen. We have to go and get Jurgensen and put him in #1 spot, because Sanchez will cost us games. We came up against a Wolves team that, yes, was taking shots, hardly on target, didn't really penetrate in front of goal. We will come up against bigger teams in the next couple of weeks, and we have to have a solid goalkeeper in the back. We have to have a solid goalkeeper in the back, because we started the game really well. We score from a set piece. You know, Wolves, we knew we're going to be open at the back in terms of their set pieces. The weakness was going to be the set pieces from corners, free kicks. So we knew that there was a weakness that we could exploit. We've done that very well. Now, I thought we were lucky for the first goal. You know, Tosin, I think it's Mateus Cunha, who is just slow clearing his lines or coming out from defence. And Tosin's there striking while the iron's hot. Now, Tosin's actually played better than Nicholas Jackson in certain games recently. So is Cucurella. Brilliant goal, 1-0. Now we have to continue. We can't allow this team, when we're 1-0 up, to let another team back in like we did against Wolves again tonight. Because that, when you come up against Liverpool, City, Arsenal, Newcastle, one of those teams, Nottingham Forest at the moment, they'll kill you. They'll punish you. Now, Wolves didn't really do that to us tonight, realistically, did they? But their goal is so avoidable. Their goal is so avoidable. It's unbelievable how the goal that they score, we shouldn't be allowing that. I think there's Tosin. I think there's Reece James. I think there's Trevor Chalobah. There's players around Sanchez. But Sanchez has to clear that. We can't even blame the defenders there. Sanchez, the ball comes in. Sanchez has got to punch the ball. You can't catch the ball in that moment, because there's 2 Wolves, maybe 3 Wolves players on top of you before the corner's been taken. So you have to clear the lines, punch the ball away, and he does it on the second corner. So he's clearly, it's not a coaching issue. It can't be a coaching issue, because we're seeing it all the time. We're seeing him do things that clearly the coach is telling him to do, and it's things that the coach is not telling him to do, and he's somehow putting it into his game. The passes out from the back are just... Every pass from Sanchez is worrying from the back. You think there's going to be a goal from a mistake from him. It's just not good enough at the back. Now, speaking of defensive line, Reece James played about 75 minutes tonight. I was really impressed with him. I said before the game, before the kickoff in the match preview, that we had to get some decent minutes out of Reece James tonight. We had to put him into the test and see if he can sustain a really good performance, and he was brilliant tonight. Again, I've been very critical of Reece James over the last 2 seasons in terms of his injuries and his lack of time at Chelsea in terms of the minutes he's been playing. But tonight he proved why he's one of the best on his day. He proved why he's one of the best. And I think when you've got someone like Reece James in your team, he is a game changer. Now, I want to talk about another player who was a game changer for us tonight, who from the minute one of that game proved why he should never have been sent out on loan in the first place. And that's Trevor Chalobah. And he was man of the match, I think, for the night, for the performance that he put in. Last ditch tackles, blocks, recoveries, everything tonight. Everything tonight. This is what, and this is a massive, a starking alarm to Axel Disasi, who was brought in to replace Trevor Chalobah. Let's bear that in mind. He was brought in to replace Trevor Chalobah. Trevor Chalobah starting ahead of him. The likelihood is that Axel Disasi will leave the club by the 3rd of February, whenever the window shuts. So we have to be thanking our lucky stars that, yes, we had Tosin alongside him. We've got Levi Colwell, who was obviously absent tonight, but we've got to be thankful we've got Trevor Chalobah back at this club. We have to be so thankful because he put in a performance that shows us, you could see what it meant to him. You could see what it meant to him to be in the team. You could see what it meant for Trevor Chalobah to be playing alongside, Tosin and be back in the Chelsea shirt, and the tackles he was putting in. That performance is exactly why you need a solid centre-back in our defence. We shouldn't even let him go. Let's be honest. I said this a couple of weeks ago. He shouldn't even be out the team. He should be one of the players that you build a team around. I'm not saying he's the be-all and end-all, but it shows you the massive difference between him, Badiashile, Disasi. It shows you the massive difference between all of those players. It shows you the difference between them. Trevor Chalobah is all the way up here, and then you've got Axel Disasi. You've got all the other players down there. Levi Colwell, Trevor Chalobah, everyone else is below them in terms of our defenders, in terms of our centre-backs. So we have to keep Trevor Chalobah at this club. If he can continue playing consistently like this, I don't know if there's even a way that you sell him in the summer. I don't think there's a way you sell him in the summer. I think he has to stay at this club because he's that good of a centre-back. And he's maturing as every season goes on. You're seeing that the levels, when you think back to a couple of years ago when he was breaking through to the Chelsea squad, he made himself, he was available when other centre-backs weren't available. He got taken out of the team. He never made a noise. He never made a fuss. He got on with his training. The club tried to sell him. He still remained loyal to the club. He came back the following season. Still didn't get game time. Got taken out of the pre-season tour. Got told that you need to go and train on your own. You're not training with the senior squad. Went to Crystal Palace, put in some performances there that he should be proud of, and us as Chelsea fans should be proud of that he's still our player. Came back and put in a 10 out of 10 performance tonight. Even after all the stuff he's been through. He's the player that we need to keep at this club. Forget Axel Disasi, forget Benoit Badiashile. Trevor Chalobah is the guy that needs to stay at Chelsea Football Club. He needs to stay at if we move him on and we keep Axel Disasi and Benoit Badiashile, it tells you the fact that this club is all about profit and money and gaining what they can for their pure profit players, because Trevor Chalobah has to stay at this club. Not just for this season, but even as a squad player next season. Even if we bring in a centre-back that is levels above Trevor Chalobah. Tonight he's proven as to what he can do, even in a stopgap, even as a cover for an injured centre-back if we bring one in the summer. He's proven now too many times that this guy has to be in the club. He has to be in the club. And he was robbed of a goal. Before we get onto that, let's get onto the second goal for us. The Marco Correa. Beautiful ball in from Noni Madueke. Lofts it all the way over to the defenders. Marco Correa follows the run into the box. Again, I feel Wolves should do better. I feel Wolves should do a lot more in terms of their defensive, in terms of their marking, in terms of understanding what's going to happen in that phase of playing. They don't. So it's a lot easier for us to be able to capitalize on that again. But again, Marco Correa, we're relying on another defender. No Nicholas Jackson, no Cole Palmer. We're relying on our defenders to score goals. If that doesn't tell the owners and the sporting director that we need to go and get ourselves a centre forward, a striker, a number 9, I don't know what does, because Nicholas Jackson was non-existent tonight. He had a chance at the end of the game that he should have scored. He was offside for the goal that he did score. He can't time his run again. We need to go and get I keep saying it. I keep banging this drum. We need to go and get a centre forward that is going to be clinical in front of goal. Otherwise, all these performances where we're scraping 3-1s that look convincing on the eye, if you miss the game and you see 3-1, you think brilliant. But if you watch the game tonight, we were actually lucky to get away with 3-1. I'm not saying that Wolves dominated the game, but they put us under a lot of pressure in the first half. The back end of that first half when they scored that goal, there was moments in the second half where they put us under pressure when we looked a bit shaky at the back. So we have to get a goal scorer that is going to be able to finish the chances that we're giving to Nicholas Jackson. There's no excuse for Nicholas Jackson anymore. There's no excuse for him. There's literally no excuse for this guy. I said before, when he's doing well, we praise him. We tell him that he's good. We say that he's brilliant and all this and that and all the rest of it. But when he's not playing well, we're relying on Cucurella, Tosin to score the goals. That's who we're relying on in this club to try and get top 4. We're relying on our defenders again now. If this isn't a worrying time for the sporting directors, I don't know what's going to wake them up, but we need a number 9. We need a number 9 at the club. Now, the third goal, I feel sorry for Trevor Chalobah, because Noni Madueke, if you remember back to the reverse fixture, I think he come out on Twitter or Instagram and said, he doesn't like Wolverhampton, it's this and it's that. And I get it, killer instinct in front of goal. You want to just grab the goal. But that was Trevor Chalobah's goal, man. That was going in. It's Trevor Chalobah's goal. Noni Madueke heads it in, of course, makes it 3-1. And it makes it look more of a convincing game for us on paper. But it was a difficult game. Let's not beat around the bush. If we played City, Liverpool, Arsenal, and played the way we did tonight, we do not walk away 3-1 winners. And that's just fact. That is just fact, because we weren't good enough in front of goal. Wolves made it easier. If you watch all those goals back, the 3 goals that we scored, every single one of our goals was avoidable. Our goal was avoidable as well. It's poor from how we played in terms of how we played tonight. It was poor. So the 3-1 on reflection looks amazing, looks brilliant, but we have to do better. We've got City on Saturday. We can't be playing how we played tonight against Wolves, and play against City like that. They'll cave us apart. They'll rip us apart. Now, Cole Palmer is a big one for me, because Cole Palmer, I feel, should not have started this game. And I said that before the kickoff, that we shouldn't be playing Cole Palmer. This is a game I think you play Nkunku. And it's telling, because Nkunku, unused sub again, you're 3-1 up. João Felix comes on, Tariq George comes on, and Nkunku's still on the bench. If that doesn't tell you that a player's leaving the club, then I don't know what does, because for Maresca not to trust him, grab my beer because I need a beer to wash down what I'm talking about here. But if Nkunku is still on the bench and Tariq George is starting or is getting minutes ahead of you, I feel like his time's done. I feel like his time's done at the club. I think he's done. I can't really see another way back for Nkunku now. There's no other option but to move him on now. And it's unfortunate, because I think for me personally, I'd love to have seen Nkunku given an opportunity as a 10, as a false 9 a couple of games. whether Maresca just doesn't fancy him or doesn't suit him in his team, but to not even be getting any minutes. Yeah, look, even Maresca just said now on Sky Sports about Enzo Fernandez. Enzo, probably we need some more days. I'm not sure for the next game. We'll see. We can't start Keenan Dewsbury Hall against Man City. We can't start Keenan Dewsbury Hall against Man City. So I don't know what we're gonna do, but we can't start him, and we can't start Cucurella in that midfield, and we can't start Renato Vega, who's due to leave the club anyway in the next couple of days. So I don't know if that's true. If that's what he's saying, and he's saying on Sky Sports now that Enzo Fernandez is not going to be fit for Saturday. I don't know. You might have to throw a defender in there. You might have to put Reece James in midfield or something. But Keenan Dewsbury Hall tonight was not a player that has sold me that he should be starting on Saturday. Because Caicedo didn't have the best of games, but again, you know, he's relying on having that understanding with Keenan Dewsbury Hall in the midfield. There's clearly not that understanding between the two players. It just didn't work. But back to Nkunku. Where does he go now? Where does Nkunku go? What happens to Nkunku? Because to not even be in contention to come on. I said before while the game was on, for him to not even be getting on is mad. Yeah, I'm just looking on here. Look, 34 goals, 35 goal involvements, 34 games, 35 goal involvements. His stats in the Bundesliga. It's annoying as well because I feel with Nkunku, he'd offer you a lot more than what Noni Madueke offers you on that right side. I feel if we shifted Cole Palmer to the right and we put Nkunku as the 10, I think that solves so many problems, because there's so many times when, especially tonight as well, I've noticed a lot more tonight, and Madueke gets the ball on the right. He either tries to cut in and doesn't cross the ball, or he tries to shoot and the shot gets blocked, or it goes wayward and it just doesn't go on target. And I just don't know, man. I don't know why Maresca's not playing Cole Palmer on the right, which was really effective last season. It was so effective last season. Why is he not playing Cole Palmer on the right with Nkunku as the 10? Why is he not trying Nkunku as a false 9? Because Jackson's not offering up anything. Now Jackson will hold up the ball well, but he doesn't time his runs. He's making the right runs, but they're ill-timed. He's not taking the chances in front of goal. I don't know what we lose by putting Nkunku as the 9 or put him as the 10 and put Cole Palmer as the right. We've got to try something, because I think on Saturday, I feel like with Maresca, and I love him as a manager. Like, I'm never going to not back him at the moment, because he's shown all the signs that he wants to do right by this club, and he needs the backing of the owners in the summer. He needs to bring in more of his own players, get rid of some of the players that he doesn't want. But I feel like he's too stubborn. There's things that Maresca could do, like even the subs tonight. I just thought taking off Pedro Neto when, okay, Noni Madueke gets the goal, he makes an assist in the end. But before that, he wasn't doing anything. Like, it just didn't make any sense to bring on those subs at the time that he did, and then bring on Axel Dizazi at right back, Malo Gusto left back, drop Cucurella into midfield. It just became very chaotic in like the 80th minute of that game. And I think I said it earlier on today when I did the preview for this, but you can almost guarantee that if you come up against a Man City, like I keep saying, a Liverpool, and you play in that way, you're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle. You're gonna struggle because, like, Reece James will start on Saturday. That's a given. Cucurella will start on Saturday. That's a given. Chalobah has to start on Saturday. That's a given. Hopefully Levi Colwell's back. But that midfield's worrying now. If Fernandez isn't fit enough to start on Saturday, who do you bring in? Who do you bring in to play alongside Moises Caicedo? Cole Palmer, for me personally, I still think he's carrying a knock. I still don't think he's 100%. I think you look back at the first half, you know, he got clipped on both ankles. He was limping before half time. He took another knock in the second half. He was a doubt for the game tonight anyway. Like, why keep him on for so long? Why not bring him off if you know that he's got that knock? You're going to need him for Saturday. Why not just bring him off? For me, those are the little things where I'm looking at Maresca now and I'm thinking to myself, I got to question a couple of things about you. But let's look at some of the stats from the game. Let's go through some of the stats. There's 19 shots, 9 shots on target. Sorry, 9 shots for Wolves, 7 on target for Chelsea, 4 shots on target for Wolves, 12 chances created for Chelsea, 8 for Wolves, 3 corners for Chelsea, 6 for Wolves, 3 saves each for each goalkeeper, 62% possession of the ball, 5 offsides, 4 yellow cards. It was just unnecessary, those cards as well. Yeah, Tariq George, Sanchez time wasting, Caicedo with a silly foul, Tosin for dissent. It was just silly fouls, silly yellow cards, man. But yeah, I just look at the teams. I look at, I mean, our lineup. Like I said before, I was really impressed with Trevor Chalobah. I don't think Wolves really gave us much really to worry about in terms of their 4 shots on target, their 9 shots altogether. But this is the most important bit here. This is the most, and I said it before the game, I said it before kickoff, this is the most important part of this now. This here is the most important part of this, because we need to keep momentum going now. Now, Saturday's no easy game. It's no easy game going to the Etihad. We know we've got a poor record there. We know it's difficult. They've just hit a bit of form now with the 6-0 against Ipswich. Haaland's got his new deal. Pep's got his new deal. It's never going to be easy, but it gives us something to work on. It gives us something to work on, you know, going into that game, knowing as it stands at the moment. Obviously, things will change because the games will be played on the Saturday before our game. Bournemouth, I think, will play before us. Newcastle, I think, will play before us. So we will drop out of it, potentially at the top 4 before we kick off. But the thing is, mentality wise, we have to think that we can beat City now. If things go our way and we end up still being in that top 4 at 5:30, mentally that has to do us the world of good. That has to do us the world of good going into that game against City, which, let's be honest, they've had bad form, bad run of games. Yes, they beat Ipswich. They've been starting a couple of runs now. This might be their time to go on a run, but we have to be confident we can beat them. We have to be confident we can beat them in this game, because if we don't, I generally feel like Maresca picking Sanchez, picking Nicholas Jackson time and time again, after watching the mistakes from Sanchez, after watching chances created for Nicholas Jackson, and he's not taking them, will cost us top 4. It will cost us top 4. And if that is the case, then we only have ourselves to blame. Thinking back to where we were before Christmas and where we are now, we will only have ourselves to blame. The sporting directors have to take a lot of accountability for all those signings that we're moving on certain players now. We're not happy with certain players and the rest of it. But we have to be clinical. We have to get someone in this window. For me personally, one signing, whether that's a goalkeeper, whether that's a centre-back, whether that's a striker, we have to improve one of those areas. Now, if we improve the defenders because we've recalled Trevor Chalobah and that's what we can do this summer, this window, then fair enough. But go and look at the goalkeeper options for the summer, or go and get me Osman, go and get me Gyökeres for this, go and get me a striker. Because at this point in the season, those things matter now. If you're winning if it's 1-1 and we're not taking those chances that we're creating at 1-1, like I said tonight, we were very lucky we came up against Wolves, but you got to see against Bournemouth, It was only just by the luck that Reece James scores that free kick and it's 2-1 at the time of the free kick. So should Reece James not make that 2-2, that's a really poor result for us. We cannot afford to miss out on top. I don't think people, as Chelsea fans, I don't think you guys realise, even though top 5 potentially gets us Champions League, I don't think, if it doesn't get us Champions League, I don't think Chelsea fans understand the impact that will have on us financially, on everything. There's so many things that I think we don't realise at this club that are wrong. Just the fact that it's, what is it, the 20th of February and we still don't have a front of shirt sponsor. It's February. Those are the things as a club you sort out before the season's even over, and we still don't have a front of shirt sponsor. There's a lot going wrong at this club upstairs that I don't think are being addressed properly, in terms of the transfers, in terms of recruitment, in terms of the fact that we still have Sanchez as our #1 goalkeeper. I don't know what we do here to rectify some of these things, but there are things we can rectify. We can stop playing Robert Sanchez in goal. We can put Jurgensen in goal. We can stop playing Nicholas Jackson as the 9, and we've got Christopher Nkunku, who looks like he's on his way out the club. We can give him minutes. We can try Mark Gu in games. He's there. He's on the bench. Let's play him. We could put João Felix, who can play false 9 there. We could move Cole Palmer to the right and put Nkunku as the 10. These are just options that he has to his disposal as a manager, and he doesn't always use them at the right time or at all. And I think that could be the only downfall for this season, for me personally, would be that we're not utilising the squad that we've got available to us in the right way. And if we lose on Saturday to City, look, these games, they're coming thick and fast. Let's have a look at our let's look at our fixture list. Let's look at the schedule. It's coming thick and fast. Let's take a look. So here we are. Wolves tonight. We got City. Then we play next Monday, West Ham, Graham Potter. Again, Stamford Bridge. We've got 2 games against Brighton, 1 in the FA Cup. Again, Saturday. And then, although I feel like that game's been moved now, or maybe it hasn't, but 8 o'clock on a Saturday night, lovely. Friday, we go to, again, the Amex to play Brighton again. Played them twice in the space of 7 days. Then we go to Villa Park. Then we've got some relatively easy fixtures, Leicester and Southampton. Then we've got to go to the Emirates. Then we've got to play Tottenham and Brentford. Now, I'll be honest, I look at those games there. I think I said this the other week on here. Everton will not be easy. Whether that's at Stamford Bridge or Goodison Park, it doesn't matter. They'll be needing points regardless of where they are in the league. They're going to need points. The 26th of April, Everton are going to need points, and they're going to need 3 points as well. So they're going to go for it. And look, they look like they're picking up a bit of form under David Moyes as well. Now, Liverpool again at Stamford Bridge, it doesn't matter. They're going to be going for the league. They're going to want the league. It's going to be a tough game. Newcastle, St James's Park. It's never fucking easy. It doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter what club it is. It's going to be a tough game. United at Stamford Bridge. Difficult game. This is why I'm saying dropping points earlier on. Dropping points earlier is a no-no. We can't drop points. Because if we get to that game, 18th of May, Manchester United, and we need 3 points, you don't want to get down to those 3 games, Newcastle, Manchester United, and Nottingham Forest, and need to get 3 points out of those games to secure top 4. You just don't want to be there. You want to get into that game against Forest or at least United with the safety cushion that you can at least get a point, or you can at least lose one of those 2 games and still qualify for top 4. Now, if you're running into those 3 games, Newcastle, Manchester United and Nottingham Forest, and you need to win all 3 of those and collect 9 points, the less said, the better. The less said, the better. But back to tonight. Let's wrap it up. Let's end on a high. Good performances from individual players like Trevor Chalobah, Reece James, Marco Correa. I thought were all brilliant. I thought Pedro Neto had a half decent game, but I thought could have done more. I felt like he should have been playing on the right of that attack, to be honest. And maybe you start with either João Felix or Jadon Sancho on the left, but it is what it is. But I thought defensively there were signs there that we should never have got rid of Trevor Chalobah. And I think every Chelsea fan can agree to that. Every Chelsea fan can agree. Before we go, actually, let me show you this from my Twitter account. It's Trevor Chalobah. And I never used the phrase proper Chelsea because I hate that phrase with a passion. But Trevor Chalobah, oh, he knows. He knows. Trevor Chalobah, he knows. Let's find it. Where is it? Trevor Chalobah. Oh, he knows. He knows. Look at that. Trevor Chalobah knows what we all know. He knows what we all know about Sanchez. Look at that look. That look tells you everything you need to know. It tells you everything. He's only been there. He was only there for, that was, what was that, 50 minutes into the game. He's had enough of Sanchez already. Just imagine Trev. Imagine how we feel. We've had him all season. We've had him all season in goal. Big Sanchez. Yeah, we've had him in all season. But Trev's sick of him 50 minutes and 12 seconds into the game. He's had enough of Robert Sanchez with his messy goalkeeping errors already. But credit to him. Young Trevor. Big Trevor. Not young Trevor. Big Trevor. Player of the match. Deserved it. Well and truly deserved it. I think, if that's not a kick in the teeth and a 2 fingers up to the owners, I don't know what is, because it shows you how vital it is to have a player like him in here. Again, couple of things on here to see here. Correa celebrating his goal. Love to see it. Good performance there. Thiago Silva also watching the game as well tonight. Still Chelsea through and through, man. I don't know why we're not bringing this guy back to the club. He should be back at the club. Defensive coach. Now I've got Trevor Chalobah back as well. Levi Colwell, Tossin. Those are the 3 centre-backs we should be focusing on. Forget Axel Dizazi. Forget Benoit Badiashile. Bring in another one of the youth centre-backs as well. Put him in there. And those are the players we should be focusing on. Get Thiago Silva. Get Thiago Silva back to my club. Get him as a coach. Let him manage and coach those first team defenders. And I guarantee you next season, he's like a brick wall. You're not getting through there. Thiago Silva, let me know what you think in the comments. Should Thiago Silva be back as a coach? And I'm gonna clip this. I'm gonna send it straight to Thiago Silva. I'm gonna see it. Hopefully he sees it. And hopefully he comes back 25, 26 season. We get to see it, man, because we need to see it. We need to see it. We need to see that Thiago Silva back at Cobham. We all love to see that. But that's another thing we need to talk about very quickly. Garnacho's agents were spotted tonight in attendance at Stamford Bridge. There's a lot of talk about Garnacho coming back. Well, not coming back, but coming back to a big club. Let me say it like that. Coming back to a big club, Chelsea. So let me know what you think about that, because I'll be honest, I don't think Garnacho should be even in our top 5 transfers. Yeah, don't think he should be there for me, to be honest. But let me know what you think about that as well. Of course, Renato Vega did not feature tonight as well. Wasn't even on the bench. Talk still ongoing with Juventus. Borussia Dortmund, again, another team that are looking to hopefully sign Renato Vega, someone that we actually could do within the team. Let's be honest, he could be playing in that midfield alongside Caicedo. We know that he's done it before. Sanchez, Chelsea fans, how would you rate Robert Sanchez's time at the club so far? That's another one. Let me know what you think in the description about that, because I'm going to share my views on that soon once we log off here. But we're done. We are done. Don't forget to subscribe. Don't forget to like the video. Don't forget to leave your thoughts in the comments. Please make sure you subscribe. We will be back. We were meant to do a watch long today, but as you can see and hear, my voice is not the best at all. I'm not well, not 100% well. So we'll get more video out. We'll do another video tomorrow. More content this week, so make sure you subscribe. Again, as I said, like the video. The podcast will be back, I think, this week as well. So if it's audio version you prefer, that'll be available. If it's not and you like the visuals, of course, we'll be here. So get those notification bells on. And until then, enjoy the rest of your week, and we will be back very soon.